Hey guys, what's up? It's Moses here at the Driver Success Channel. So, in the last video, I made a brief introduction about myself. In this video, what I want to do is something that could be able to help some of you out. One of the things, I don't know, some of you know that I had a podcast, and one of the things that I would do is I would interview drivers, and I would ask drivers to give us a brief introduction about themselves. And I realized that it was a problem they had, not knowing what to say. And that was one of the problems I would have. Like if I went to a place and people told me to introduce myself, or if I was on an interview and somebody said, the interviewer told me to tell them about myself. It can be a challenging question when you are on an interview and someone says, tell me about yourself. Or if you go somewhere and people want you to introduce yourself to them. So I just want to give you some pointers. If you have listened to the introduction I made, it was a simple, quick introduction, but there are certain things I was kind of deliberate on what I was talking about myself. And if you go back and listen to it, you realize that I introduced myself by letting you know where I come from, my origin. I told you that I am married. I told you that I'm a father. I told you that I'm a Christian. I didn't tell you that I'm a truck driver because you already know that. But generally, what you want to do is, first and foremost, you want to know who your audience is. If you go and you are introducing yourself, say for example, you go out and you are having a get together, or something like it's a social meeting and they want you to introduce yourself, then you have to think of in terms of who those people are and what is important to you. If you go on an interview, then you have to think about what is important to you, but mostly you want to think about what do you have as an employee, what would you bring to the company. So in that case, you may want to talk about where you have worked, maybe the challenges you found in your previous employments, and what you are looking for, the challenges that you think you are good at solving. So you always want to sit down and think about a few points where you can think about the things that are important to the people you are introducing yourself to, or the things you think they may want to know about you, and then the things that are important to yourself. So with me, the reason why I had to tell you about where I come from, I know most of the time people are asking me, they hear me speak, they hear my accent, and they want to know where I come from. So that's why I told you where I come from. Usually people ask me whether I'm married, so that's why I told you about the fact that I'm married. People want to know if I have kids, so that's why I told you that. Now, there are times when people have looked at me, those that have seen me for a long period of time, they ask me whether I'm a Christian. But generally speaking, that's not a question that I get a lot. But I have, when I've been with people for some time, they ask me whether I'm a Christian, if for some reason I haven't told them. But the reason why I had to point it out is because it's important to me. Alright? So that is something that I told you, not just because people ask me every now and then, but because it's something important to me and something that I want you to know. So when you are introducing yourself to people, you want to think of the things that people usually want to know about you, or the things that are important to you, and then figure out how you can make them into a brief introduction about yourself. That's the best way to do it. If you go on an interview, usually people say, like when you listen to people saying, when they ask you to talk about yourself, you should only talk about the job, what you bring to the job. But I believe you should also talk about what's important to you. For example, I remember when when they were asking me when I joined JB Hunt, one of the managers just wanted to know about me. I had to let them know that I'm married, I'm expecting a daughter, I have daughters, because I want them to know that my family, I'm a family man, and family is important to me. I want them to know that when I want to be home, I want to be home. I'm a hard worker, but if I need time off to be with my family, I want to make sure that I'm getting that time. Or if something happens and I need to go attend to my wife or my daughter, that is important. So if I let them know ahead of time during the interview process, then it makes it easier. For example, one of the things I don't want to play with is my Sundays. As I've said, I'm a Christian. So usually when I'm being hired on a company, I want them to know that I will work. If you want me to work 6 days, I'm okay with it. But when it comes to Sunday, I need that because it's my day to go and connect with my church family. So some people will say, oh, when it's work, you don't bring in that. I usually say that when something is important to you, you should let them know about it. As long as you're not overdoing it or making it into a big deal, people ought to know, even if it's work, when they're interviewing you, let them know what is important to you. But mostly you want to make sure that you are also aware of who your audience is, so that you are not making it more about yourself, but also about the audience. So when you look at the introduction I made, it was a simple introduction. It was an introduction to do with people that I want to consider friends, and the things that I think that I want my friends to know about me easily, people who want to get to know about me. I picked up a few things that I think you guys may want to know. If I was on a job interview, it would be something different that I would say. So whenever you take time to think about it, so that whenever you are in a situation where you are asked to introduce yourself, you know about 3 to 5 points of things you can touch on quickly to let the other person know about you. So some of you guys, if I ever give you a call and I ask you to come when I start my podcast again, and I ask you to introduce yourself, now you know some of the things that you can talk about to introduce yourself. Anyway, I hope that helps you out. Until next time, stay blessed and stay safe. Bye-bye.